Hey folks, we are back. Let me just take a quick minute here. I'm going to get my gear set up squared away. We are going to go back for a level 350 TOA raid, so just need a second to get my setup all right, and then we'll take off. 350, purple loot, here we come. Back to the monkey room. Alright, we got our stuff. Alright, here we go. And we're off. Always stay away from those brown ones there. They're going to explode if they have a chance to get close enough to us. So typically you just want to touch them real quick, just let them catch up to you, but then walk away. And then you're able to let them blow up with more comfort there. Further away from you is usually a good thing. You can see a brown one creeping up on us now. We let him get close and then we walk away. Boom. Where I can here, I'm just gonna blood barrage some of the smaller monkeys. And then certainly these pinkish looking ones, those ones we want to blood barrage because we get more bang for our buck there. They have a very low magic defense, so we're able to hit them for quite a bit. So it's a pretty good use of our runes when we do that. I am keeping an eye on our prayer and whatnot out of the corner of my eye. I'm gonna heal just a tad here. So that way we don't risk an unnecessary death. You can see these brown ones are following me around, so we're just putting some distance in between us and them. Overall, we're doing alright here. I think we're through the worst of the waves, so now it's really just a matter of us taking out the residual guys, like these little light blue baboons. And then we've got one poison, excuse me. We've got one poison guy that was walking around too, so we just took him out. So before we forget, let's pick up the potions that we dropped here. Alright, we got all of our stuff. Alright, into boss number 1. Hey Rainbow, thank you. Now that we've got our blood barrage spells and all that, we're in a much better place, so hopefully it'll be a clean run for us. We'll see if we can actually do the skull skip, and if not, at least it's good practice. There's only one way to learn, right? No love from the Warhammer there, but we'll keep pulling it out. Reminder here that around 700 hit points for Baba, the monkey boss here. That's when he's going to do his rolling boulder attack, so we want to make sure we're not standing in the middle of the map for that, or else he's going to throw us into the gap, which is an instant kill. So certainly if there's one thing to remember, it's mind the gap and do not stand in the center when Baba is around 700 hit points. And then again when he gets around 300, that's when he does his rolling boulder attack for the second time. So. Looks like he's close to 600. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, normally he goes by now. We're going to pull out our ranged weapons so we can... We want to shoot the dark blue boulder. For some reason I thought the one on the left was dark blue at first, I think because there's a bit of a shadow. But it was actually on the right, so good thing I had enough time to shoot a second time there. Okay. And then after 7 waves or so of that, we just go back into the regular fight again. I was able to just spec him, so his defense will be a little bit lower now. Throws those rocks at you, just make sure you're standing by one of the boulders on the ground. There's always 2, because that kind of protects you from his attack. If you don't stand by a boulder, you get hit usually for about 70 hit points, so it can be pretty devastating. It might even be more than that. I know I've been hit once and killed before, if my health wasn't all the way up, so... Exercise caution. But you can see so far we haven't really gotten touched by anything. We're still at 112 hit points, and that's what we walked in with. So as long as you're paying attention, a lot of this fight in terms of the damage you could take is very much avoidable. He did do both of his rolling boulder attacks already, so we know that that won't come again. So now you can freely stand in the center, but just always make sure you can get over to one of these rubble formations, just in case he does his like aerial attack again. We don't want to be too far away from those. Here comes another one. Boom. Well, that was about as clean as a Baba run can get, so we'll take that. Alright, so now I'd like to go over here into the Path of Het. That's another one that's just good to get out of the way, especially because one of our invocations is making a certain path of the raid 1 level harder each time that we defeat a path. So you can see that the path that we're on already leveled up 1, and that's going to make all the mechanics a little bit harder here. We don't want this guy to get too strong or too out of control, or else it's just unnecessary challenge, you know? once we get these mirrors in place, we'll be able to destroy the obelisk, and then we'll move on to the boss fight. What happened there? The game kind of like froze up. I've never seen that before. That's interesting. It almost looked like it wanted to go into a phase 2, but we were able to destroy the obelisk just in time. There's like a half-second of a break right there. For this one, we are going to throw on our mage gear, to start at least, and then we're going to run around like a maniac and just try to hit this guy from a distance. Eventually we'll have to move in and do more of a hand-to-hand combat setup, but for now we're going to take this kiting approach in order to hit him while he can't hit us. Getting some hits in there. We're doing some good damage, especially for this being the calm part of the fight. The more damage we do now, the more helpful it'll be throughout the rest of it, so that's cool. Alright, so now we're in that hand-to-hand combat phase. You'll see once I get his health down a little bit more, yep, there's going to be these green soldiers that pop up, so we're going to take them out one by one. Each time we get, Aka's health down by about a quarter, it's going to give us a chance to take down another green soldier. So 4 different phases that we'll work through there. Alright, there's the first one. Let's see if we can get a spec hit in here. No love. So we couldn't hit with Baba, the monkey boss. Now we're not hitting with Aka. But we're not giving up. You'll see here, even when you're using the correct protection prayer, you're still taking a little bit of damage from time to time. So just be ready to heal. Stay at whatever level you're comfortable with based on, your experience here and just your experience in general. I generally like to wait until my prayer is down to about, 50 or 60%, so that way I can drink a sip of my restore. In parallel with healing myself with the Sarahs. But anyway, it's up to you how you want to do it. But that's just a trick I like to use. So you see now I'm going to take at least 2 sips. If he hits me again, I might take a third. Yeah, I'll just do that for now. Alright, we got him with the Warhammer that time. So now he's going to be a little bit easier to beat. His defense should be down for the rest of the fight, or at least for the next few minutes. Now the soldier just opened up, but I also have this shadow effect on me, so I was just going to wait a second to see. Unfortunately, if I ran too quick there, I would have created these explosion things on the ground because I was a bit cursed from Akka. So I had to wait for that shadow effect to drain before I could move. And now I run the risk that I might not be able to take down the soldier in time, but it was the lesser of two evils. Let's try to run up quick and finish him off. Alright, cool, we still got it, so no worries there. We made the right choice. So what's that, 3 soldiers we took out so far? So the last one here is going to be in the northwest corner. I am going to heal real quick and then also take a sip of my super restore. Might as well try hitting him with the Warhammer again. Why not, right? We got him a second time there. Alright, we were able to take down that 4th soldier, so now we're pretty much going to deplete the rest of Akka's health. That's going to open him up to his final phase, which is like a tornado phase, like all these different effects. Tornado effects are on the ground and they move across the map. So our mission is going to be to dodge those. And then there's a little bit more melee combat baked into that, but it shouldn't take more than like half a minute to complete. Okay, here come the tornadoes. Don't touch them. That's the key. It's really all about watching the tornadoes with your peripherals and just whatever ones are or seem to be lined up with you. Maybe you want to hone in on those when you need to, just to make sure they're not on the exact same line that you're standing on. I think once you've done this a few times, it starts to feel a little bit less chaotic. At least for me it did. I remember getting real panicky at first, and sometimes you'd even die from these tornadoes. Whereas now that's not such a risk for me, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Alright, so we beat the first 2 paths there, the first 2 bosses. Now we're going to go over to this helpful spirit. And I'm definitely going to need these ambrosias for the final fight. This is like a cure-all potion, which essentially it allows you to max fill your health as well as max fill your prayer. So definitely we want to have those in our inventory for the final fight. And I think right now we already have the crocodile, which has gone up to a level 2. And that's a pretty sketchy situation for us. Lots of times, if we had an unlucky acid pool attack, that could be the death of us there. So let's try to get the croc out of the way before he gets any stronger and the arena gets any more challenging. Typically try not to get hit right there, but every once in a while it does happen. We're trying to fill up these water jugs and then take a full jug of water back to the palm tree to water it. And if we don't come back with a full jug, there's a chance we might have to do like 3 runs instead of 2. Which you can see just happened there. So now, let me kill this crocodile because he's also taking water from the tree. And then we're going to try to get a 3rd jug full, and we'll see if that's enough to finish the challenge. Alright, hopefully this will be good enough. Boom. So that unlocks the door. Now we can go fight the big guy. So this is primarily a ranged fight. I am going to equip the Warhammer first because why not? We'll try to lower this guy's defense. But then after that we're going to put on our crystal armor and our Bofa. We'll see if we can take him down. No love there. No love there. Alright, let's get to it. He is launching a variety of ranged and magic attacks at us, so that's why you'll see I'm switching between my protection prayers and then also trying to throw a little bit of rigor in there to give myself an extra boost in damage whenever I connect with him. So that's going to be the rhythm that we follow for the duration here. Really hoping we get lucky with a good spawn of the acid pool attacks, because if we don't, it's really unfortunate when you die that way, because there's not a whole lot you can do to influence the layout. Just a bummer if that's what takes you out after a fairly clean run otherwise. I am going to heal up just in case something like that happens. I want to try to give myself better odds that we're not going to get one shot killed there. I think any minute now he's going to switch to the, or not switch to, but he's going to perform his special acid pool attack, so you'll see why it's called that. The vast majority of the screen is going to be filled with acid, it's going to be all green, and then I need to kick a water jug towards certain rocks that are randomly placed in order to clear the acid that's around them. So it's not a complicated concept, it's really tricky if you get a bad spawn. Here we go. This one's not horrible. I'm going to try to kick this thing, and then I'm going to try to shoot it so it blows up by the rock. We pulled that off, fortunately. Alright, so at least for the first one we survived. And I'm going to throw my melee gear on. We're going to try to spec him while we're standing here. No love. Ooh, we got him that time though. Awesome. That's a good break for us, because this guy's, it can be pretty tedious since he's 2 levels up. I'm just trying to get the right gear on. Everything got switched around as I was doing my melee swap there. I normally don't need to eat this much food and prayer while I'm here, but I really want to make it a point that we take this guy down as quick as possible, just because it does add a lot of risk to the fight. Or to the raid in general, I should say. Okay, so this one's going to be another tidal wave attack, so We just have to find the gap in the wall of the tidal wave, and then we're gonna walk there. And there's 3 different waves that hit us, so we'll just have to find the gap 3 different times. There's the first one. There's the second one. And 3. Alright. So the only special attack that he has left is going to be the acid pool attack for the second time. If we can survive that, we can be pretty confident that we win this fight, so that'll be awesome. And his defense should still be lowered here from when we hit him with the Warhammer, so all of that is working in our favor. Oh nice, we got a good layout here. We're just gonna kick this jug right into that rock. Wow. Now we can breathe a sigh of relief. I feel like it's never that easy here. He's got 430 health right now. We're just gonna keep chipping away at him. We could use Rigor here if we wanted to, but I feel like with his defense being lower, and I just don't want to blow through all of my restore potions and all that, I'd rather just give this a shot not using Rigor. And in a second I'm gonna start prayer flicking him. So that way we can conserve our energy and our prayer even more. He's at 250 hit points right now. Okay, he's under 100. Easy streak. I know I shouldn't jinx it, but I feel good. As soon as those acid pool attacks are over, I feel like the world is ours. Nice. Alright. So path number 3 is over. So the only thing we have left is the bug path. This is Kefri? So the Scabarus path. Your Rune Light plugins come in real handy here. There is a pillar section here, which is kind of annoying to complete. If you get the plugin for TOA, the path that doesn't have the pillar will light up green there, so you know that you always just go through the green fire and life is good. If you don't do that, it's a 50-50 chance as to whether you'll get the pillar section, so it's up to you if that chance is worth it or not. We are just about done with this puzzle phase. We just have to touch the red on the left, then touch the red on the right, then touch the yellow on the right, touch the yellow on the left. It's kind of an annoying final piece to this puzzle room, but at least it's not really challenging. So, there we go. Alright, so for this one, it's actually going to be more of a melee fight. There will be some minion spawns that we take out, at least one of them we're going to use our magic staff for. But for the most part, we're going to keep our Fang out and our melee armor on. And we're just going to progress through the fight that way. We'll try to start off with a Warhammer spec, as always. And as always, we did not get a spec, but that's okay though. I didn't even have my fire cape on. Just jumping the gun here. As soon as those agile scarabs come out, these little green bugs on the side, you're going to want to put protect from range on. Those things are hitting us with non-stop range attacks, so by using the correct prayer there, you can at least mitigate how many times you get hit and the overall amount of damage they do. You just don't want to be there like, I don't know, sitting duck really, and have them hit you too much. Once we take out that range minion, or range scarab we'll say, then that's when I put on my magic gear and I take out the melee one, which we've conveniently trapped in the middle section here. And then once we take him out, we're going to go back to Kefri and kill, well really complete phase 2 of this fight, knowing that there's 4 phases total. So here we go. We'll pull out the Warhammer again, and miss again. And just keep working through it. This one here, my main concern right now is just making sure that I don't let those dung lines get too out of control. So whenever she does her special attack, you'll see she throws a fresh dung line at us. Very nice of her, I know. So we're just going to try to keep all that segregated to this corner the best we can. If we were to end up on, like, say, I guess it's technically the western side of my screen, but like right now, if we were to go on the left and have her drop a dung line there, it's going to get us trapped in that center area. So we certainly don't want that to happen. We're going to try to keep it all in a nice clean line down here so it's not too distracting for the other phases of the fight. And now when I hit her this time, some more minions come out. And now you can see we've got a magic one here. That's the most dangerous one, so we're going to target him first. After you hit him 3 times, he teleports over to the other side, so we just gotta chase him down. Then after the magic one, we're gonna go for the ranger. You can see we just got poison there, which was due to the agile scarabs, so that's why you want to make sure you bring an anti-poison with you, or an antidote, you know, whatever you've got. And now once I've taken out that ranger, now I still have the melee to deal with. So I'm going to pull my magic staff back out so we can take him down. Now Kefri is obviously active. She's already gone into phase 3, that's why she's attacking me. So we're just going to keep moving around here, dodging her bomb attacks while we finish off the meleeer. Alright, so now that's done. So no more minions will come out. Once you get through phase 2 of them, it gets a little bit simpler here. Now it's just us and Kefri. So again, you just want to make sure that the best you can, you keep all these dung lines to one corner, or just one area in general, so that way you don't limit yourself as to where you can move throughout the rest of the fight. Essentially, if you were to get yourself trapped here, she's going to keep squeezing the tiles closer and closer together. The dung is going to keep pushing in on you, and eventually she's just going to keep dropping these bombs on you, which you can't move away from. So, that's kind of a bad situation, you know? Alright, so we just finished phase 3. This is phase 4, which is also the final phase. So you know you're there once her hit bar turns into this light green color. Once we deplete that for the 4th time, so essentially right now you can see it's quickly turning red. This is her final bit of health. So after this it's going to be completely over. She's got just 20 left. And there we go. Alright. So now after you complete the 4th path there, that's when the helpful spirit will come out again. We got the ambrosia last time, so what I'm going to try for this time is the smelling salts. So I'm going to choose the chaos package. And now when you look in our supply pack, you can see all the stuff that we've saved up for the final fight. I'm trying to think if there's anything in my inventory I might not need for the final fight, but chances are I'm going to die in this one. So I don't want to get rid of any of my potions or anything like that, just in case there needs to be a round 2 attempt to what we're doing. And then for the rest of the gear, we're also going to need that as well, so we'll just pull some of this out so we've got it handy. I just want to get this as arranged as possible, because it's going to get pretty sticky once we get into the fight, you know? Let's see. The problem is the insanity phase makes the fight move at such a quick pace that I won't have time to rearrange my inventory or anything once we get in there. So if I don't take care of it now, it would be a pretty sticky mess that we find ourselves in. So I'm going to go in here with melee gear. When we first try to take out the obelisk, we're going to do that with melee. Then we're going to take down the side warden over here, the Elodinus warden. There's going to be a quick battle we do with him. And then we're going to get into the final warden fight, which is where the insanity kicks in, and that's where the skull skipping happens. So that's where we might be a little bit unlucky in terms of our success, but we'll see though. We're going to give it everything we've got, as we always do, and hopefully we get a little bit more comfortable by the time this fight is over. We did not get a spec hit there. That's a little bit sad. that's okay. It is going to be pretty tricky for me to talk once we get into the final phase of this fight, so just bear with me. If there's any questions or feedback in the chat, I'll try to pick that up afterwards. Those magic attacks are unavoidable when you're in solo mode, so there's nothing I could really do but eat those. And then you'll see once we actually start the combat phase of these fights, that's when you'll have a bit more of a fighting chance in order to protect yourself. Kind of stinks that I didn't get the spec hit in the beginning, because typically I can destroy this obelisk before I get hit by the magic for a second time, but not so lucky here on the front end, so it is what it is. Okay, here comes the first warden. I'm actually going to pull out a few other potions here, so that way they're more accessible for once I start fighting. So the whole gist of this one is he's alternating attacks here. There's also a few special effect things that are happening on the arena itself, so you just got to be mindful of that. But essentially we're just switching through the appropriate prayers and then keeping ourselves as healed as possible so we don't get wiped out. And then he's going to drop down to one knee in a minute. We're going to try to melee him as quick as possible in order to progress through this phase. Okay, we're getting ready to melee here. You can see, I think this is his heart or something that we're just trying to hit as much as we can. Okay, now he's going to get up and we're going to switch to our range attack for this one. We started off with mage, now we're going to range. Just doing a little bit more inventory management here. Again, I'm pretty confident with this phase of the fight, so I'm really just trying to get myself in the best position I can for the skull skipping phase, because that's where I'm a little bit more out of my element. Okay. Here we are again. Gonna pull my dagger out. We'll try to do some more damage that way with our special attack. Don't know that we'll be able to finish him off with 3 phases here, but we're certainly gonna try. here we go again. Alright, we got him. Perfect. So now, we will frantically, and I mean frantically, try to switch to our range setup. Just taking a look because I want to make sure I'm doing max damage here. So even though I'm not hitting the guy yet, I just want to make sure my setup is on point. And then we're going to start doing our thing. Might even walk up and try to spec him in a minute if we don't seem to be doing as much damage as we prefer. I don't typically use a range setup either, so between the Insanity Invocation being on and then me using range, it's all very new. So just bear with me while I try to find my sea legs here. Good luck, us. Alright, there's the first one. 3 more skull skips to go. And of course the third and the fourth ones are the hardest to get the timing down for, but that first one felt pretty good. I feel like we're locked in today. Gotta be getting close. Okay. Alright. Alright, we're back in it. Gonna try to heal up a little bit here. hand's already getting tired here. I think after this one, after we do the skull skip here, I'm gonna try to do a special attack. Because it seems like we're not really taking his health down, oops, as quick as we would prefer. Let me heal up though before we do anything else, because I certainly don't want to risk a death here for no reason. We're back in it. Okay, so this one, I think we have to dodge the first rock attack. And then we're gonna run over. Nice. Okay, we did that okay. Oh no. Forgot what part of the rotation we were in. That got a little bit scary. I'm gonna try to pull my Warhammer out here. Wow, we actually hit him. Cool. So now let's work our way back. Now the other thing I'm going to try to do is grab my smelling salts, take a sniff of those. Okay, so we're back in it, guys. Wow, my hand is getting tired. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. I know this is a lot, and it's not really... I don't want to say it's not efficient, because we haven't really messed anything up, but I just know I'm not DPSing as much as I probably could be, because I'm being more cautious than anything. Okay, here we go. Final skull skip. Nice. Alright guys, we're making it to the final battle here. I hope so at least. A little bit more of this 3-column stuff. And then we'll be moving on to the final phase. I don't think that final skull skip was really the way that they recommend you do it. It certainly didn't feel like it was all that put together, but it somehow worked out, so we're not going to challenge that, okay? Once he gets down to about 100 here, yep, here's the final phase. This is it, guys. Jeez, these things drop fast. I'm not used to those boulders dropping as fast as they do in Insanity. I don't know, guys. We're not really DPSing him again. Wow. Yeah, guys, awesome. That is sick. My first solo 350. Man, I've been trying to get that for like a week, guys. Thank you for being here for it. I appreciate you. If that doesn't earn me a channel follow, I don't know what will. If you guys out there aren't currently following my page, if you wouldn't mind dropping me a follow, that would be amazing. But man, my first level 350, my eyes are watering, my hand is tired. Let's go in here and see if we got ourselves a purple, okay? No purple. I don't care. That's alright though. We did an awesome thing today. Let's see what we got. Ooh, a Missouri crafting kit. I've never gotten that before. And we got 526k, so man, that is sick. That collections log there, I think that's what we use. Well, actually, I don't even want to jinx it. I don't even know what it's for. I'm going to have to research it because I don't want to be wrong. But either way, guys, this is super cool. Our first 350. We got a collections log, and this is just the beginning of all of our momentum. So, again, thank you for being here. I hope you'll stick around for the next stream, so I'll catch you next time. Later.